Well, the Jets and Packers finally consummate a deal. In what feels like 2 years in the making, the Packers have finally immunized themselves against Aaron Rodgers, offloading him to the New York Jets, a talented young team who now has a talented old quarterback to potentially end what recently became the longest playoff drought in North American sports. Did somebody make a short about that? Did somebody make a short about the 10 reasons the Jets won the Aaron Rodgers trade and posted it March 14th because we all believed that was going to be the day this damn deal got done? Yeah, that idiot would be me. Unlike Wisconsin, drugs are legal in New York. Rodgers can become the first athlete since Doc Ellis to dominate a game on hallucinogens. Number 1, Bill Belichick has the worst QB in the AFC East. God, that just feels great to say, doesn't it? Basically, since we learned that Aaron Rodgers intended to go to the Jets,
I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
To the day today that he actually became a Jet, March Madness came and went with UConn winning it all. An hour-long AI stand-up special with Tom Brady was created and then forced to be removed from the internet after Tom threatened to sue the creator. The Sacramento Kings ended their 17-year playoff drought, and Anthony Richardson became a possible first-round pick to the possible first overall pick to probably the third QB taken. A lot has happened. The Cowboys cut Zeke Elliott. They released him. Jerry Jones cut Zeke. Shit, I became a man. I became a full-on man. That's right. I got my first gray pube. Speaking of gray pubes, today's episode is sponsored by Manscaped. Pay attention because we have a special code, a new code, and an important message. April is Testicular Cancer Awareness Month, and I am proud to work with Manscaped, who has been doing this for several years to bring awareness to the most common form of cancer in men ages 15 to 35. Manscaped's mission every April is to not just help guys shave balls, but save balls. And they're doing so with their limited purple edition Lawnmower 4.0. This year, Manscaped is donating $25,000 to the Testicular Cancer Society to help those impacted by it. I'm asking you to self-health check, which you can learn more about at manscaped.com/TCS. That's right, this month I talk about touching your balls, and I'm not joking. And if you don't inspect them yourself, Manscaped's given me permission to come and squeeze your balls myself. Wait, what? Oh, no? Okay, legally I can't say that. Anyway, use my link below for the special Lawnmower 4.0 and my code TCSGoodSports, that's new, TCSGoodSports, to save some balls. All right, here are the terms of the Aaron Rodgers deal. The Green Bay Packers get pick number 13, pick number 42, pick 207, and a 2024 second that becomes a first rounder if Aaron Rodgers plays 65% of the snaps in New York. The Jets get Aaron Rodgers and pick number 15 on Thursday, so they drop back 2 spots. Now, if they spin that pick on a QB, I will laugh for 2 hours straight and then call Tom Grossi and laugh some more. That's the funniest possible outcome. Most importantly, Jets running back Breece Hall's knee is miraculously healing even faster now, per him on Twitter. Pretty good, Breece. Now, before I comment on the comp of this pick, this gives Rodgers a chance to prove that he was right about the Packers not knowing how to build a Super Bowl team because, you know, they didn't listen to him. If he wins a Super Bowl with the New York Jets, he will not just hurt Packers fans, but also Broncos fans who watch their team give up about $1 billion times more in draft capital to get a QB who played half as good as Rodgers, and Rodgers didn't have a great year by Rodgers standards. Ultimately, I think the Packers got a good return for a 39-year-old quarterback. He was on borrowed time with them. They move up 2 spots in the draft. In all likelihood, they'll net a first-rounder a year from now. I'm not really sure why it took so long to get there. But the Jets and the Packers made what looks like a fair trade that should leave both teams feeling good about the deal. Isn't that right, Rodgers? I don't know if moving up from 15 to 13 significantly changes the Packers' strategy in this draft, but I am rooting for the possibility that they draft a first-round wide receiver now that Rodgers is finally out of the building. Jackson Smith and Jigba seems like he'd fit well in that receiver room, perhaps giving them the slot receiver that Amari Rodgers was supposed to be. Now, I'm not sold that the Packers make the playoffs in year one with new QB Jordan Love, starting QB, but I do like their prospects in the long term, and the fact that they stuck with Love through all of this shows confidence in him, or stubbornness, to move on from the guy that they traded up into the first, which ultimately shattered their relationship beyond repair with Aaron Rodgers. But once again, Love wins. Love always wins. Still, he's facing the daunting challenge of succeeding Aaron Rodgers, who faced the daunting challenge of succeeding Brett Favre, who faced the most daunting challenge of all, succeeding Don Magic Man Majikowski. 3 great quarterbacks in a row, and also Bart Starr, who was great at handing off and throwing the ball to his drunkest receiver 70 years ago. That's my honest thought about the trade and the comp, and for my dear friend Tom Grossi, that is how I hope this works out for his team, that Jordan Love is great. In fact, with pick 13 and 2 second-rounders this year, Green Bay now has the ammo to move up in the draft for a QB if they don't actually believe in Jordan Love, especially if one starts to fall. But the football fan in me hopes Packers fans get a long taste of what NFL football is like when you don't have a fucking QB. Seriously, 30 years of Favre and Rodgers, 30 straight years of knowing your team has a better chance at winning than losing? Fuck right off, you spoiled lovers of this beautiful game. I say that as someone who actually likes the Green Bay Packers. Trust me though, life on the other side ain't easy. And I don't want you to suffer out of spite. I want you to suffer so we have something in common. As for Aaron Rodgers, he joins a team with a lot of young talent on offense. Breece Hall will return healthy in 2023, and Garrett Wilson managed to pick up 1,000 yards as a rookie, catching passes from Zach Wilson, Joe Flacco, and Hall of Famer Mike White. The offense was god-awful, though, after losing Breece Hall. They scored 15 points in their last 3 games. No, not per game, like the Broncos, combined. And despite a really putrid offense, for the most part, Robert Saleh's defense allowed the 4th fewest points, which is wildly impressive, with 4 games against the Bills and the Dolphins. This is a team that through 11 games was sitting at 7-4 before they absolutely flew that jet into some serious turbulence and lost 6 games in a row to close out what was still a fairly promising season. Next to the Detroit Lions, the Jets were the best team, in my opinion, that did not make the playoffs last season. I do respect the fact that Rodgers left for a tougher division. That's something Tom Brady would have never done. Frankly, Rodgers versus a Belichick defense twice a year, must-see football. Rodgers versus Josh Allen twice a year, it's going to be amazing. Rodgers versus a Tua that learned how to fall and not get concussed in the offseason. Dear God, I'm actually excited for NFL games again. And at age 39, Aaron Rodgers better pray that he stays healthy. Or, smoke some sages his locker room, whatever nonsense he's into. He better double down on it. Because it's going to be a big challenge to play in a division that includes 3 other teams that have all made the playoffs within the last 2 years. Tom Brady managed to win a Super Bowl with a team that hadn't made the playoffs in 13 years. And now the expectation will be for Rodgers to do the exact same thing in the biggest media market in the world. If I learned anything from last season as a Broncos fan and Russell Wilson, it's that task is actually super easy, especially when you have a guru offensive play caller in Nathaniel Hackett to help you along the way.
I've really enjoyed making love to your ears.
Which of course Aaron Rodgers does have with the Jets. I'm obviously kidding about Russ, but I think Hackett being in New York is huge for Aaron Rodgers and his success immediately. Oh, and by the way, we are getting Rodgers and Hackett versus Russell Wilson and Sean Payton this season. Put it in prime time, NFL. Put it in prime time. Rodgers knows the offense and has a coordinator he loved from Green Bay with him to help teach all of his new teammates what they like to do. Plus, that offense isn't much different from the one Mike LaFleur ran the last couple seasons. And while I do think it will take time for chemistry to truly develop between Aaron Rodgers and his new teammates, Allen Lazard being there will also help ease that transition. And after filing a lawsuit against Pat McAfee for defamation, Brett Favre is now also suing Aaron Rodgers for plagiarism. Oh my, when will this stop? I said something about the media market in New York, right? Rodgers is a celebrity, not just in football, but a celebrity in general. It's the internet age, and it doesn't really matter where you are, but you can't undersell the move from football's smallest town to its biggest. The New York Post will call him a bozo if he loses. He'll be flush with podcast invitations, and he'll have to downsize to a one-bedroom. The truth is that Rodgers will be slightly more of a celebrity, will probably be spotted on a date with either Emily Ratajkowski and or Pete Davidson, maybe all three. But life will ultimately go on as normal. Whatever normal is for a very, very strange man. And I'm honestly just glad we can stop talking about Aaron Rodgers. This shit started a full 2 years ago, the day of the 2021 draft, when the rumor was he was coming to the Denver Broncos. And finally, we can be done with it. Let's ride. Wait, wrong QB. Let's show our feet in a darkness retreat while we're on all the drugs, while talking shit to Adam Schefter from 50 burner accounts for fun. Yeah. Thanks for watching. That's Good Sports, the very breaking Aaron Rodgers trade news that we've known is coming for a fucking month and a half, and it just finally happened. Please subscribe here if you didn't hate this video.